Good morning. That's always pleasant. I'm settling in. All right. I'm going to get to the rest of the reading on Demeter. If you join in the chat, let me know. Oh, all right. I'm going to pick up where we left off yesterday. We're going to talk today about the psychological difficulties of Demeter. I am going to get a little bit more light. That warm light's nice. There we go. Okay. Hello. The goddess Demeter was a major presence. When she stopped functioning, life ceased to grow, and all the Olympians trooped down to plead with her to restore fertility. Yet she could not prevent the abduction of Persephone or force her immediate return. She was victimized, her pleas were ignored, and she suffered depression. The difficulties faced by Demeter women have similar themes: victimization, power and control, expression of anger, and depression. Identifying with Demeter. So a woman who identifies with Demeter acts like a bountiful maternal goddess with an unlimited capacity to provide. She can't say no if someone needs her attention or help. This Demeter trait makes a woman stay on the phone longer than she wants to with a depressed friend, or agree to be homeroom mother when she'd rather not, or give up her one free afternoon to help someone instead of reserving this time for herself. And Demeter is present in the therapist who gives her anxious client the extra hour that was her only break in the day's heavy schedule, whose evenings are invariably interrupted by lengthy phone calls, and whose sliding scale fees are always at the lower end of the scale. This instinct to nurture can eventually deplete a woman in a helping profession and can lead to burnout symptoms of fatigue and apathy. Do I like that? Do I like? I do need a way to get rid of this swing arm. Yet when a woman instinctively says yes to everyone who needs something from her, she will rapidly find herself overcommitted. She is not an unlimited natural resource, even if other people and the Demeter within her expect her to be so. I just got out of bed and we're doing this because this is what I want to do. A Demeter woman must confront the goddess time and time again. A Demeter woman must confront the goddess time and time again if she is to take charge of her own life. Instead of an instinctive yes, which is Demeter's response, She must be able to choose when and how and to whom she will give. To do so, she must learn to say no, both to a person who needs something from her and to the goddess within. To do so, she must need to say no to other people and to the goddess and to the Demeter within her. Let's do this. Yeah, that's got to be much better. You'd see my old ass Mark Air swag pad. It's so nasty. Somebody send me a new mouse pad. So, saying no to the goddess. Having the experience of a goddess aspect that is not serving you, recognizing when your embodiment of the goddess is not serving you, and saying no to her qualities when they're not serving you, and saying yes to other goddesses. Fascinating. Having to say no to the goddess is a thought that's never even occurred to me before. Because I've spent so much emphasis and effort on saying yes to her as a whole, and bringing my awareness around her, but her aspects are exercising themselves through me no matter what. It doesn't matter what my level of awareness of it is. So interesting. Maternal instinct. If this archetype has its way, a Demeter woman may also not be able to say no to getting pregnant. Because maternity is an inner imperative for her, a Demeter woman may unconsciously collude with the Demeter archetype, may forget when she is fertile, or may be careless about birth control. Thus, she may find herself pregnant when circumstances are far from ideal. If you guys were here yesterday, yesterday we talked about how Demeter has shown up in really unseen aspects of me, in unexpected ways, and how I've probably smashed and squashed her expression. And experienced a lot of psychological difficulties around her. How do I want to hold this? Oh, you guys, I'm just... Do I want like real bangs? It's okay. A Demeter woman must be able to choose when and with whom she will have a baby. She needs to recognize that the Demeter within her has no interest in the realities of her life and no concern for timing. If pregnancy is to happen at the right time in her life, she must resist Demeter by being vigilant about birth control. Fatigue, headaches, menstrual cramps, ulcer symptoms, high blood pressure, and back pains are common in Demeter women who have trouble saying no or expressing anger when they're overworked and overloaded with too many responsibilities or children. The message indirectly conveyed through these symptoms is, I am worn out, pressured, and in pain. Don't ask me to do anymore. There are also expressions of low-grade chronic depression, which results when a woman cannot protest effectively, represses her anger, and resents a situation of Demeter's making. And resents a situation of Demeter's making. How many women do we know who have had their choice taken away from them? How many Demeter women, maternal women without agency over their own mothering lives have these symptoms? Okay. A Demeter woman's superabundant capacity for mothering can be flawed by her need for children to need her and by her anxiety when her child is out of sight. She will foster dependency and keep her child tied to her apron strings. She may also do so in other relationships. For example, she may mother the dependent child as she mothers the poor little boy and her lover and takes care of the anxious child and her friend. Such a woman infantilizes others by her attempts to be indispensable. This is codependency. Or over-controlling. This tendency fosters feelings of insecurity and inadequacy in the other person. This is not good for children. In the kitchen, for example, she may encourage her young daughter to learn to cook, but she supervises closely and then always adds the final touches at the end. Whatever the daughter does, the mother gives her the message that it's not good enough and you need me to do it right. In a work situation, it's the same. She is the supervisor, editor, or mentor that knows best how the work should be done and thus may take it over, which stifles originality and self-confidence in her child and increases her own workload. If people in her life need her, the anxious Demeter woman feels secure. If they grow independence and competence, she will be threatened. To stay in her good graces and to be the recipient of her care and concern often requires staying in a dependent role. Whether a Demeter woman fosters dependency or, on the contrary, creates a sense of security in which the other person can grow and thrive, depends on whether she herself has a sense of bountifulness or scarcity. If she's afraid that she will lose the other person or that her child is not good enough, she may become possessive, controlling, and constricting. This insecurity makes her into a hovering or a smothering mother. One young mother in my practice realized when her child was still an infant that she was the type who was going to find it hard to let her daughter grow up. The first struggle came when it was time to introduce baby food. She had been breastfeeding, enjoying the exclusiveness of the relationship and the dependency of her infant. As the time came to introduce solids, her husband looked forward to spoon feeding their daughter, which would be a major new step in the father-daughter bonding. Luckily, the altruistic mother in her knew it was time to start solids and share the child more with her husband, although the possessive mother in her wanted to resist as long as possible. Her wish to do what was best for her child won out. Even so, she did transiently feel like mourning Demeter, grieving over the loss. And so, knowing these goddesses, knowing how they feel, knowing their stories and their arcs will allow us to see when those come up in us, when they're coming up in our lives, and to resolve the things that those goddesses required, those myths taught us. We can resolve our own stories through living out the myths and fables. That's the purpose of myth. I I'm so tired. I'm not even feeling a shorter passage today for sure. Luckily, I don't have these sessions scheduled. So I can hop on and read a passage and then go away. Oh, mm-hmm. All right, my darlings. Oh. Share screen. Oh, that's nice. I am going to go get some more coffee really quick. So now so weird. Is anybody in there? Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay. Does that ever go away? No. Okay. I'm gonna go get some. Here's what we're gonna do. Projects. I'm really not worried about people seeing the inside of my business because it's just my practice and needs to be shared. Oh, girl, look at you on camera. It's terrible. That goes off. Oh, yeah. Hold on. There. Oh. People want to see me in my jammies. Here we go. I don't actually think people want to see me in my pajamas, but here you go. All right, gorgeous people. So I am going to work in Claude for the next 10 minutes. Okay. Let's start a piece on I really want to talk to you guys about how I'm using AI for sacred work and clinical work. Okay. I want to write the first draft in my own words, but I need your help structuring it. My goal is to communicate. Oh, Persephone. Matrescence. Okay, let's start the piece on postpartum descent. So Claude already knows what we're talking about here because this is part of a project. Oh, should I be in a different project? Oh, Death of the Maiden. Oh gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, projects, postpartum product suite. Okay, so I want to see if Claude gives me a different answer. In a different project. Okay, projects. I need to eat something, you guys. Let's see. What does Claude say now? Oh, it's different. Yeah. Hmm. Let's see what I like better. Oh. I actually think it's better in the postpartum suite. How Persephone's descent created both a daughter and a queen. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. So, you guys, I am. Okay, I'll help you. Let's see. Yes. Oh, God, this is so beautiful. Okay. Nobody has talked about this. I'm so fucking excited. To be the one. Suggested structure. The sacred descent. Opening with the visceral reality of postpartum transition. Introducing how this physical descent mirrors Persephone's journey. Establishing a parallel between the underworld and the postpartum period and connecting clinical postpartum symptoms with mythological symbolism. So I do like looking at these structures because I know how I write and I know if my writing is going to be able to like easily flow with that. Okay, so I need to actually work in the postpartum product suite, I think, because this is okay. Opening the descent. Begin with the moment of birth as the threshold crossing. Introduce how this initiates two simultaneous journeys, the baby's emergence into life and the mother's descent into the underworld of transformation. So I don't know, because I wonder if pregnancy isn't the descent, the moment of descent, the abduction of Persephone. Yeah, conception. So what is the baby? What's the fetus in this is the fetus Hades? Shit. Is the sperm Hades? That's an interesting ponderance. The mother's unraveling. Explore how the loss of maiden identity parallels Demeter's loss. I think that we're still very much in that crossroads of maiden during our first pregnancies. I don't think that, oh gosh, I'm so excited to just be like developing the praxis online and live and killing two birds with one stone, but I'm not sure that that we fully like come out of maiden during our pregnancies. I think that's still very like we're in our springtime, we're fertile, and then when that divorce happens, when the blood mystery like when I mean the violence of birth, it's a violent separation between mother and child. Wah! So as like you become Demeter in that moment and Persephone. This is so fascinating to me. Exciting, really exciting stuff. Okay, so I am so thirsty. I have to take a shower. My child has a wrestling meet that I am going to go root him on at, and yeah, nature calls. So I'm ending. We're gonna pick up where we left off because this is really exciting. And